This is Jacques-Louis David's great painting Napoleon crossing the Alps at the St. Bernard Pass. It dates about 1801. It's a very large painting. Um, it's 8 feet 11 inches by 7 feet 11 inches. Napoleon came to power in November of 1799 and was determined to retake the territories seized by the Austrians in the previous years in north central Italy. To attack Austrian troops directly, he decided to take the Transalpine route through the mountains to gain an element of surprise. Napoleon led 28,000 men across Alpine passes. This pass, the Great St. Bernard Pass, is the third highest road in Switzerland in the canton of Valais, Valais. It's actually very close to the Italian border. It is the oldest pass through the Western Alps and was probably used by the ancient Romans. It is 8,100 feet at its highest point. This is apparently one of 5 versions of the painting. This particular version was actually inherited by David's daughter, and his daughter bequeathed it to Louis Napoleon just before he became Emperor Napoleon in 1850. At that time, it was installed in the Tuileries Gardens in Paris, and in 1979 it was taken to the Palace of Versailles, where it can be seen today. The painting was commissioned for Charles IV of Spain as part of an exchange of gifts, presenting the new diplomatic relations between Napoleon as consul of the French and the Spanish monarchy. Napoleon refused to sit for David. David actually had to use a bust of Napoleon, and the uniform and hat that Napoleon wore at Marengo are preserved here. He was able to see it and draw it. And that Battle of Marengo was the final defeat of the Austrians after Napoleon had come down through the pass. 2 of Napoleon's horses from the royal stables were also used as models. And as we know, Napoleon rode on a mule and not on a horse when he was going through the pass. One of the presumed models for the statue of Napoleon was the great equestrian statue of Peter the Great that was designed by the French sculptor Falconet. It was commissioned by the Empress Catherine the Great, or also known as Catherine II of Russia, who wanted to express her admiration toward her predecessor, one generation removed. So she had the inscription put on the base that read, Catherine II to Peter I. It was written in Latin. The statue was actually begun in late 1760. It was completed in 1784, 14 years before the end of the reign of Catherine upon her death. Etienne Maurice Falconet, Falconet, arrived in Russia in 1766 to supervise the project. The enormous bronze sculpture was made in a 12-year period from 1770 to 82. The young apprentice of Falconet, Marie-Anne Collot, Collot, had modeled the face of Peter and based it upon his death mask, as well as 4 or 5 portraits that she had found in St. Petersburg when she was there. Peter sits heroically on his horse, his outstretched arm pointing westward toward the Neva River, Neva. It is the exact moment his horse is rearing up near the edge of a cliff. He is trampling a serpent underneath. The horse is explosive with flared nostrils, gaping mouth, wild eyes, and perilous pose. The rider, on the other hand, is calm and sits on a bearskin saddle, symbolic of old Russia. He is not a conqueror or deity, but he's a benevolent ruler. His timeless robe or toga and his extended right arm give him a universal appearance as an enlightened ruler based upon the precedent of the Roman emperors. The sculpture is very natural, very lifelike, and contemporary in its appearance. It is believed that a contemporary cavalry officer posed for Peter, while the horses came from the stables of Catherine and were closely studied for their rampant poses.